All right, folks. So let's see. So today we're gonna help you improve your cell phone pictures. Um, so here's a photo I took of my motorcycle that I purchased recently, and this is a very nice Suzuki. Um, Took the picture middle of the day. It was around 1 or 2 p.m. You could tell where the sunlight is right up on top. The shadows right on the bottom. So um, for this tutorial, so you probably, or not probably, but you must have subscription to Adobe Creative Clouds. So for one image, I'm just gonna use the Photoshop. Um, Currently, it looks like I need an update, but I never do them. Psych, no, just kidding. I do them all the time, but I'm not gonna do that today. So let's look at the picture. It's got a lot of harsh shadows. Um, just overall, the image is not the greatest. Want the background to kind of, you know, not sink in, with the focus of the image, which is the motorcycle. Um, so I mean, generally, you got a Samsung, 8 or 9, or even a iPhone 6 or 7. The pictures come out pretty great, and it's good enough. But why not get it to look like a shot that you took on your DSLR, right? So first thing you're gonna want to do is get into your filter. So let's go there, filter, camera raw filter. So this is basically like the mini version of Lightroom in Photoshop. So you don't have to open up you know, your image in Lightroom and do all that extra stuff. This is everything that you need to use to get this image to look stunning. Um, so what I did is just open that up to zoom in and zoom out, just to kind of get an overall, assessment of this picture. I feel like the bronze here, it's kind of muddy, it's dark, and the details in the engine and the frame and the tank, it's really dark. I want to show what that bike looks like. Keep the center of this image, the focus, which is the badass bike here. So I mean, the red looks kind of dull as well. Um, so let's make this image pop and have that background blend in. I mean, not blend in. So one of the first thing I do is turn up the shadow to see how much details I could bring in. So as you can see right now at 50, you can already see a lot of the details that wasn't there before. Um, so let's see. Well, I'm not going to do that. That's way too much, but I just want to see what kind of details it'll bring out. This sort of look like a HDR photo right now, which, it's fine. Some people like that, but I don't want to overdo it. I don't want this image to look like a super HDR. So another thing that I do is turn up the exposure, um, just to brighten up the picture. So look at before and after. I mean, this is already like less than 30 seconds of editing. It's already looking a lot better. You could tell a lot of the details on the bike compared to what it was before. So let's go around and see what else it needs. Okay, so right now I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, details are a lot better, you know, but what else can I do? Okay, so what's another thing that I do that helps with the overall image is turn up the vibrance to make this image pop. Uh, it shows color, you know, on the overall image of this picture. But I'm not going to do this on this one here. Um, right now I'm on the XSL adjustment. So what I'll do here is turn the red up because I want to see that tank pop, because this color, it's a really nice color on the bike, and you know, if you turn that red up, I want to make that tank pop. I want the detail look super vibrant. So what I'll do is I'll turn the red and the orange up on that. So, you know, by turning the orange up, it also, you know, bring out some of the details on the wheels and the exhaust. And I'm going to go in here in luminance to turn up the brightness. And you can see right now the tank, it's a lot more out there. It's the focus of the bike. And the orange as well. See that bronze, it was a little bit muddy, almost looked copper before, and now it's like a nice goldish hue. And you can see if you turn it down on the luminance, that bronze had turned kind of copper. So I'm gonna leave that here at 19. Just gives it like a nice, you know, bronze, yellow, gold hue to it. So let's hop on to the next color and see what's needed to be adjusted. Okay, I'm gonna go back into saturation. Maybe tune possibly the orange down a little bit. Maybe the red. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it around there. I think it looks really good right now. So next thing is the background here. I noticed that the green, it's really bright and distracting. So what I'll do is go into saturation, turn that down, and I'm gonna go to the extreme here and turn the saturation into negative, 0, none. We don't want any. And depending on what the image looks like, you know, you could turn the luminance all the way down or all the way to the top. So, you know, for this image, I think what I'll do is turn it up higher so it can blend in with the sky and the houses back there. And I think it looks a lot better now. The green isn't as green and distracting as before. And I'm even gonna turn the hue. You see now, like the green is like super deep green, and now I'm gonna go back down to where the green's like a highlighter, you know, has that highlighter yellow tone to it. So yeah, I'm gonna leave that green at, you know, at negative 81. Don't want that green to look too green. So next color is the blue, and as you can see, I just selected the exhaust. Not selected, but pointed out the background, and there's some blues, and the blues mainly the reflection from the sky. So you can see the exhaust right now, it just looks white and gray, you know, pretty proper. And I want this to look, you know, to have that teal look on the exhaust, the reflection of the sky. And I think it works really well with the bronze, the yellow. So you can see on saturation, if I turn that down, the exhaust just turns straight up like white and gray. If I turn that up, you know, it actually brings out more details on the muffler, the exhaust. So I kind of like that. So I'm gonna turn up the saturation there, maybe see what it looks like with the luminance down. So darken it a little bit. Wow, that actually looks really good. And if you turn that up, the details would actually disappear. So I'm gonna probably be right in the middle. Yeah, you know, where I'm pointing at now, the details a lot more apparent than what it was before. So I don't want to overdo it. So I'm gonna probably leave it around 30 or 40, and you can see in the background too, it brings out a lot of the detail in the sky. Going back to hue, so there's no aqua color, so it doesn't really change anything. So I do that sometimes, just go through the colors to see if it changes anything. And if I go back to orange or red, you know, you could actually change the overall color of the red from red to like a purplish magenta, or I mean that's more like a pink, hot pink, to red to orange. And yep, no, that's not gonna work. But if you do want to see what that tank and the fairing looks like in a different color, this is what you would do. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to what the red should look like. And so the orange, it doesn't change too much of the color, overall color, but it does have a effect on a little bit of the red, but mostly on the bronze of the wheel. So I do want to turn that wheel a bit more in the yellow, so it looks closer to the bronze that I'm trying to capture. So I'm gonna leave that there at 18. Okay, let's check out the difference between before and after. So as you can see, once you zoom out, you can tell that dark, shadowy picture that was taken because the sun's right up on top. You just can't really see the details compared to the one on the right. The shadow's dark because I took that, you know, at noon. I think it was around 1 p.m. in the afternoon. And you can tell now the highlights are brighter on the right. The shadows, you know, it's up. You can just see what the engine looks like. You know, nice V-twin, the exhaust pipes. So overall, it's a lot better looking. And yeah, I'm happy with that. So let's go into the next step. It's that distracting stop sign. So yeah, so I mean, generally if you don't have anything that's same color as your foreground, it's not going to be as distracted, you know, as this stop sign here. So I mean, if it was purposely taken with the stop sign, then maybe it works, but you know, not what I'm doing now. It's just these are pictures that's going to go on Craigslist or just on social media when I post it up for sale. I want to make the bike, you know, the focus of the, you know, overall photo. Okay, let's get into split toning here. So highlights. Any of the bright colors that's in the image, you can actually change the hue of the color. So I'm gonna just show you here what it looks like when okay, I'm gonna select this deep blue around the 200s, and I'm gonna add some saturation to that highlight. So you're gonna see right now when I turn that saturation up, it's gonna somehow change all the highlights of the image. See the blue, the tint that's add on top of the highlight. So it definitely changes the mood right away. So if I go any higher, you know, that's like a completely different image. But we're not gonna do that. This is way too much. So I'm gonna tone that back down. Okay, maybe 0, maybe 10. It's just very subtle. You don't want to overdo it. Yeah, do it. 50. Super. Okay, so I'm changing the hue as well so you can see the effect that I'll do on this image here. So right now, none of these work. So I'm just gonna leave that back to where it was before. But you know, if you're down here and you want an image looking photo, or leave that in where that blue was and just turn the saturation down, make it a very subtle change. So it'll set the mood, but you know, won't make the image super moody. Now I'm going to go into the shadows. Same thing. Instead of the highlights, going to do the shadows. So on this image, I'm probably going to do a little bit of red on the shadow. As you can tell right now, all this shadow has like a tint. It almost looks like you're running a filter on your lens. Ooh, super green, blue, purple. Wow, definitely. Yeah, definitely. If you change the shadow of these images, it looks like some of those old school 70s, 80s photos that you take from the film. Well, a lot of times it's the way the photos is exposed or the way they're developed. It gives it that vintage look, like a filter sort of. So yeah, I'm gonna be very subtle and leave that at 10 as well on that, and bring that yellow a little bit into the red. It's a very subtle change, but it will help with the look of the image. Okay, you see the before and after again. Yeah, I'm liking it so far. It's very detailed and it's not overly done, in my opinion anyway. So another thing you could do is add some grains into the photo, you know, to look it more film-like. Let's try that a little bit. I'm probably not going to do that for this image, but you can bring that up. This is overly done right now, you know, just to show what that looks like, but I'm not going to do that. So we're down in calibration. This is where you could change the tint of the shadow and some of the just the main colors of the image as well. There's shadow, green, red, green, blue. Usually I don't change too much of this here, but if you do it correctly, you could actually make a lot of changes and make the image look a certain way. So primary red on that image, I'm gonna not mess with it too much. Yeah, I'm just gonna see what that looks like. If that's too much, so I'm just gonna leave that as is. And if you hop into the green, you can see how the green actually changes the color as well. Okay, so going down to the blue. Yep. So there's some blues in that tank, probably where that shadow of the tank, where the indent is, right there in the middle. Yeah, I'm just doing this so you can see what the difference is when you turn it up and down. But yeah, I'm gonna leave that close to where it was before. You can see the shadow and the nice shape of the tank. Okay, so yeah, check out the details. Super nice. I'm liking this picture a lot. So last but not least, I'm gonna use the adjustment brush. That one. So you can press the key K or just select that and use the adjustment brush to basically just to turn the red down. So if you want to adjust your brush size, you use the brackets next to your letter, your key, P, and size it up or size it down. On this one, I'm going to size it to the size of the stop sign. Okay, and just paint over that sign. So what it'll do is any of the adjustment that you're going to make, it's going to affect the area where you paint over. So here's the current adjustments that's on the brush. Everything's pretty much set to what it was, you know, on the original edit. So I think what I'll do is turn the saturation down and possibly the shadow and the whites. Basically, I want to tone down the color of that red and make that stop sign blend into the background. So right now the background's of course, has a nice bright sky, but the stop sign's super bright. It's distracting. So I'm gonna turn that saturation down a little bit more. More in the shadow, more in the white. Ew, not the exposure, because if your brush is big, it's also going to turn the exposure down on the sky. So yeah, I think I'm just going to do saturation, and that's probably it. Yeah, so if you're looking at this now, okay, maybe the temperature, a little bit, not much. Yeah, the main idea is just to get the red to look less red and get it less saturated so it doesn't distract the foreground, which is the motorcycle. Okay, once I'm done, I'm gonna select the hand tool, get back to the edit adjustments, zoom out. Check that out, that sign's no longer there. Well, it's not as bright as before, so you're not looking right at the stop sign. And see the before and after. Ooh, I like it. It's looking real good. Okay, I don't know why it's showing like that. Oh, what's going on? Okay, I need to get back to the before and after. Whoa, what am I doing? Okay, there you go. All right, before and after, right side, left side, top and bottom. Okay, muddy, dark, and not a lot of details too. Super detail. You can see the shadows lighter, the wheels, the bronze colors popping, the suspension showing all the detail there. And just look at the tank, look at the red and how bright that is. It's supposed to just look that way when you see that in person. So a lot of times when you look at images, you look at the blacks, you want the black and the shadow to stay black, but to bring out details in the mids. And the highlights are pretty nice on the original picture, so we didn't really do much. We mainly just brought out the dark shadow. All right, let's complete that. So another thing I forgot to do is to actually make a background copy of that image. But this is a quick tutorial that I just wanted to make, but it is a good idea to make a background copy just in case you make any mistake and you need to work on it again. So that's it. Here it is. It's all done. This image is ready to go. Save that into JPEG, size it down, whatever you need to do, and people will be able to see the big difference you made on that first picture you shot on the Samsung, and they might be surprised that you shot that on the phone, especially it's a non-DSLR. You don't have a special lens, you don't have any lighting equipment. This is the easiest way to improve a picture, especially sometimes you don't have the, if you're out somewhere and the lighting's not right, and you don't have the space to bring equipment, lighting, all that good stuff. Cell phone's great, man. You can take a picture everywhere. It's like the best thing that you could have. Like people say, the best camera you have is the camera that you have with you, and not not a fancy thing that you carry around. Sometimes it's just sketchy to bring your camera into a certain spot when you can just hide your phone in your pocket, bust it out, and take some really nice shots. So, all right, let's end this tutorial here. Let me know if there's any other tutorial you'd like to watch. This one's here is actually longer than expected. It was 20 minutes long, but I wanted to be super detailed and don't want to miss any important information and explain it as simple as possible. All right, please subscribe and like the video, and if this helped you, comment on anything that you thought was helpful, and feel free to contact or email me if you have any images that you want to edit and you want to see that on one of the featured videos. Please do that. All right, take care everyone. Subscribe.